Hello, welcome to Midlife Crisis. Hi guys, how are we doing? Well, it's November the 6th, I believe, and lo and behold, the sun's been out all day and I've just got the bike out and it looks like it's going to go away again. So what we're doing today? Not a lot. We are just putting a few more miles on the bike. Teresa's with me today. She didn't come with me on the last ride out. Had a little spell out on my own, which I thoroughly enjoyed, and I thought we would bring you along for the ride this time. I hope you're all doing well. All those people that bought these, I'm sure you're all oozing the same as I am. Yesterday we went out and started using the cruise control a little bit. There's a couple of roads that we go down that are, you know, restricted roads, 50 mile an hour. I never thought I'd enjoy a 50 mile an hour road like I did yesterday. Stick the cruise control on and just relax. So all the things I never thought I wanted in a bike, never thought I'd use, didn't want them, said they're a waste of time, you know, like quick shifters and cruise control. Guess what? Absolutely loving having them. And I keep harping on about the comfort. However, the comfort is absolutely amazing. All the mirrors are really good. They are set well forward. However, being set well forward, they seem to give you a really good view behind you. You don't get any elbows in them. So yesterday we got over 100 miles, and today, well, who knows if the nice weather stays out. It just depends how cold we get. However, I'm wearing my oh, here we go. Put them there. Then I'm ready to wind it up. Hey? Polish something. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at this. I just frigging cleaned it. I was really hoping to have a dry one today, and I haven't got half a mile from home. Never mind. That's what I'll be doing later. You got it. So, going back to this wonderful, wonderful machine. I'd take my hat off to Suzuki for this bike. I think they filled a void that's been waiting for a long time to be filled, and that is to give us a sports tourer that's actually set up properly for a pillion. And I think you're going back to your BFR 1200s and things like that. I know BMW do it, however, you know, £17,000 as opposed to 12.5. That's a lot of extra money, isn't it? A lot of extra money to be paying out. I think anyway. I don't think the BMW is that much better than this. In fact, I don't think it is better than this, because if it was, I'd have bought one. Maybe the screen's better, but I actually love this screen. It tells me everything I want to know. And the BMW's got, you know, more kit. However, you're going to pay for that, and it's kit that I wouldn't use. I mean, I got this on the road, brand new, including panniers and everything else, for the same price that most other dealerships are asking for the standard bike. Now, I know there's a new one out, a red one. I know there is. However, does look good. Whether they got stock of these or not, I don't know. We wanted to get rid of them. I don't know. And I don't bloody care either, because the blue was the one I always wanted anyway. Metallic blue, not overly keen on. However, it does look nice, but it's not a choice I would make. The black one, I test rode the black one, but it was very dirty and didn't impress me. When I did see one in the showroom, I was quite swayed towards it, if I'm honest. It looked nice. And I will be very honest with you, I think this colour is obviously, I think, the most popular colour. So like everywhere you go and you see one of these, it's in this colour. We've already done on this nearly as much mileage as we did on the GSX 1000 in very no time at all. When I say that, I think the GSXR we did what did we do? We did about 1100 miles in 2 years, and this last year we only did just under 300 miles. Now I think on this we'll achieve that this year alone. It just wants to be ridden, and I want to ride it. It's actually amazing. Something else I've learnt as well, while doing these videos, they don't have to be long, and also because of editing I can say what I want, and if it doesn't come across how I want it to come across, I can get rid of it. So whereas I've been trying to think of things to say and try and plan what I'm going to do and say, I ain't bothered. This ride is just a ride out on this beautiful machine. Thoroughly enjoying honing. And obviously we're still in the courting period with it. Over I know my bikes, and I've dropped onto this how I used to feel on my K4, K5 GSX 1000s. And I'm not talking about the engine, on the K2 as well, to be fair. And we're not talking about the power of the engine or the type of the engine or the fact it's a K5 derived engine. We're talking about sat on it, feel of it, going into corners with it, enjoying it, wanting to ride it. I mean, we had a really busy day today and we've crammed it in as quickly as we could, just so that we can get out. And that's what this is all about. This has given me a new lease of life in biking. It's making me want to ride. It's making me want to go and put my clothes on and get ready and ride. Whereas the other one, I used to love looking at it, and I used to love cleaning it and pampering it. But like, if we'd have had a busy day today like today, we wouldn't even have thought about going out. All we've talked about today is going out on the bike. Can we get an hour? Can we just get an hour? That's biking. A bike, it doesn't matter what it looks like, it doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter how much power it's got or hasn't got or whatever, it's how it makes you feel. And if it makes you feel like you want to ride, you've got the right bike. And I've learned this over the last few weeks. I had a bike in the garage, all I want to do is get on it. I've gone back to the same, the collie wobbles. And going out on a bike, you get the collie wobbles and you want to go out on it, and you want to enjoy it, and you want to have fun on it. And it's like, I've missed that. I've missed it a lot, especially the last couple of years. I kind of had it with the VFR. However, being a V4, and I'm used to obviously inline fours. It just wasn't a Jitsa. It's as simple as that. It was a lovely bike and I loved my time with it, but it just wasn't a Jitsa. And I think in my heart of hearts, from the first, in 2003 when I walked into the showroom that had every manufacturer in it, and it was a GSX 600 that stood out to me, a blue and white one. Fell in love with it, kept coming back to it, spent all day in that showroom. In fact, I think they got to the point where they didn't think I was going to buy anything, and I tried everything else, the 636 Kawasaki. Why I even tried to go on an R6 I don't know, because it was so tiny. And pole of poles, I just sat there and I kept going back to the GSX 600, and I went, that's it for me. And I bought it, and I owned it, and I rode it, and I decided that I would like to go up a grade. So I went to it ended up being a K2 GSX 1000. I went up to that, absolutely adored that. Then went to a K4, then had a K5, and then after that it all started getting a bit I sort of went down R1s and things like that, went down different routes and different manufacturers, and always seemed to yearn for a Suzuki. How mad's that? And then we came out to biking for a little while, and we decided to come back to it. Straight out and bought a K2. Absolutely loved it. Had that for 5 years, I think. Decided that it was time, so we let it go. And we bought a couple of other different bikes, and I think it was an Aprilia we've sold that for. That wasn't a good idea. It was a great bike. It was a great bike on the right day, in the right mood, in the right weather. It was fantastic. So I went from the Aprilia, got rid of that pretty damn quick. And then we sort of came back towards the GSXRs. Went for an L2. And that's when I realised that the GSXRs, as I was getting older, they were getting more for younger people. We had that for quite a while, then we changed that for a Busa. Didn't have that for that long, didn't feel it was us, didn't suit us or whatever. And then went for the 07, and as much as I absolutely adored that bike, I just wasn't comfortable on it. Nobody wants to admit their age is getting in the way, nobody. And I still used to get on it, pretend that everything was hunky-dory. We just didn't go anywhere. And then the decision was made. And in this time we test rode V-Stroms and new Ibusas, because mine Gen 2. We test rode the new one, I loved it. Rode the V-Strom, I loved it. You can see all the, if you look on some of my other videos, you can see where I've been test riding them, and thoroughly enjoying myself on them. However, the first one of these I test rode, if you're new to the channel you won't know, but I didn't rate it at all. My end review was, would I spend my money on it? And it was a big, from both me and Tess, it was a massive no. We wouldn't spend our money on it. So that was that. So we decided then that that was the end of that. And it was just by fortunate circumstances we got invited to a Suzuki day, to which we went to actually ride the Busa. And that was our bike of choice. When we got there, somebody else had already booked it out on the ride out, and there was one of these available on the earlier ride out, and they had turned around and asked us would we be prepared to take that and go on the other ride. And to be perfectly honest with you, I wasn't going to. I was going to go and sit and have a burger and a cup of tea. They said they'd like it out to come out, and well, go on then, we'll take it. We both fell in love with it. And then because we rode it against the booster, because we went back and took the booster out, we rode it against the booster, and we both turned around and said, well, Teresa said she was more comfortable on this than she was the booster. So when we decided we were going to change, it was a choice between this and the booster. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, had we gone the booster route, it would have been a lease, because it was nearly £18,000 on the road. Not that that persuaded us, because we'd actually looked at the deal, and the deal was quite good on the lease. You know, we're going to have it for 3 years, and our plan was to lease it for 3 and then pay the settlement at the end. And when I sat down with Tess and we talked about it and we discussed it, Tess turned around quite categorically and said, I prefer the GT. And that took us out of having to have a lease deal, and put us into the possibility of buying it. So instead of having to lease it for 3 years and then either save up and pay the balance, or possibly, you know, have a loan to pay the balance, this way we get to own the bike at the end, which also opens up other windows where, you know, perhaps if we want to change and get a new one, then that's something we can do. But yeah, I know I've been waffling a lot, but I think what I'm trying to tell you is this bike is what I've been looking for in a bike for a long time. We had a GSX S1000, one of the early ones, and I thought that was going to be it. However, it wasn't good for a pillion, as pretty obvious, it's a street fighter bike. And also the fueling on it wasn't great. We all complained about it. Fortunately, I think a lot of it for Suzuki is just getting the emissions through. Get the emissions through, and maybe that's what they had to do, because there were add-ons and things you could do. One of the biggest things I found to do with that is a bit of a top tip for you if you've got one of the older first generations, was soften the front suspension up a little bit. What that did was it stopped it getting shocked every time you hit a bump. So when you hit a bump, it's like you were putting the throttle on all the time, or taking the throttle off. It made it quite jerky. Wow, it's a beautiful day. I've got to say, these gloves are doing me proud. Tess found them for me. I think I had these. We had a Deauville, Honda Deauville as a winter bike. Basically bought it as a total wreck and rebuilt it. Somebody had been using it in London to commute, and I think he got knocked off more than he rode it. So we've got a donor bike, got the fairings off the donor bike, which was an ex-police bike, and the gearbox was knackered on it. So we picked that up as a non-runner, and yeah, oh sugar, we still a lot of standing water everywhere. Yeah, we rebuilt that, and then we used that all through the winter. These are the gloves they used. We were because it was shaft drive, it was ideal. We did Christmas runs on it, we did charity runs, children's hospital runs, all through December. I had some really good biking days on it. I'll tell you one thing, yeah, as well, it taught me to ride again. Instead of just being out on nice warm summer's days, let's ride accordingly. So yeah, I relearned how to ride a bike. There's a bit of a history lesson, not a history lesson, sorry. A bit of history on my biking for you. I know there's been a lot of talk about the tyres that these are shod with. And I've already made it very clear I am not a Dunlop fan. And also I haven't pushed this in any way, shape or form into corners or anything, obvious reasons. Yeah, we're still running it in and everything, so but I've not had any issues with them either. I'm still changing them because I'm not a Dunlop fan, however, and I've seen a lot of reports on YouTube especially where people have changed them and they've said it's changed the characteristic of the bike altogether. Now whether that is something that is just in your mind or what, I don't know, but there has been a lot of people saying that the Dunlops are lacking. And I will be honest, when we took it out for the Suzuki day, there was a couple of corners we threw it into, and I've got to be honest with you, it was either the suspension was a bit unforgiving or the tyres were, and I think, if I'm honest, it felt more tyre related. I think obviously if you're just going to poodle about, then you'll be fine on these. You'll be able to wear these out and not have a problem, I don't think. Riding around just normally and enjoying yourself, I think it's only when you start pushing a bit harder that's when they're going to get a bit interesting. Whether they've done it, I mean, Suzuki are normally pretty careful what they shod the bikes with, so I'm assuming they've done plenty of rigorous testing to make the decision. Whether it was they were more along levity or not, I don't know. A lot of discussions about people changing them to a 555 tyre on the back, giving you that more sports bike feeling. I think that's just personal preference. Some people say it feels like it drops into the corner better. I'm not trying to teach you suck eggs, but the 55 profile is the height of the tyre. So obviously the middle of the tyre is a bit higher. And I think that's something that is just a personal preference. If you've just come off a sports bike, then obviously you're going to prefer that. However, if you've come off a tourer or you know, something like that, then I don't think it's going to be an issue for you. Well, I think I've had a waffle and I think I've said enough. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to say goodbye. Take care, everybody. Please remember, subscribe, hit the button. I always say this at the end of the video because if you're still here, then you might still be interested in some of the other videos. So yeah, subscribe, hit the bell. Thank you so much for watching. Ride safe, everyone. All the best. Bye bye.